what are my top 5 personal favorite dinosaurs? Which is not something I expected to actually do? Like, I did a poll to see what the next video on this channel should be, and this is what you guys want? Like, I'm flattered you care enough to want to know what my favorite dinosaurs are, but, I mean, there's so many other things I could talk about that have nothing to do with me. It's kind of where I'm at with it, you know? But if this is what you want, this is what you want. I mean, I'm not gonna complain. Like, I'm totally fine talking about my favorite dinosaurs. Absolutely, 100%. No question about it. This is not an issue for me at all. And before we begin, I just want to let everybody know that we now have channel members on this channel as well, in addition to the main History in the Dark channel. It is handled the same exact way as the other channel does it. $1 gets your name in the credits, $5 gets early videos, and a shout out at the end of the video. That's the only difference. And before anybody asks, no, unfortunately I cannot actually use the perks crossways between the channels. Like, if you're a channel member on the other channel, I can't actually give you early access on this channel too. YouTube doesn't let me do that, otherwise I totally would, because it does feel really dumb for me to have to force people to be members on both if they want, like, early access on both. Like, it's just one of those things, like, I'm not that greedy, but apparently YouTube is, so, yeah. Anyway, enough about that, though. You're gonna see the videos regardless, so it doesn't really matter that much. I just want to let you know that it was there. And today, we're gonna talk about my top 5 personal favorite dinosaurs. Stygimoloch spinifer. Stiggy! Stiggy, 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 Stiggy. I love Styggies. They were plant-eating dinosaurs that had bony spikes and knobs on their skull, very similar to Pachycephalosaurus. More on that in a second, as some people are probably already in the comments about this, and I know! They lived during the late Cretaceous period, about 68 million to 65 million years ago, and they were herbivores and had very, very thick skulls that they probably used to headbutt as defense and in territory or mating disputes. Their fossils were first discovered in North America, in Montana and Wisconsin. And the big reason I love Stiggy is actually due to Jurassic Park, which is going to become a theme on this list, by the way. Jurassic Park was a big influence on me when it comes to my love of dinosaurs. And Fallen Kingdom, for all its flaws, I understand a lot of people don't like that one, and believe me, I get it. But Stiggy ramming everyone in that friggin' top secret criminal auction house is still, like, the funniest thing to me. Like, honestly, that was hilarious. Even if you didn't like that movie, you can't tell me that scene wasn't amazing. Okay, I'm just throwing it out there. But either way, this pick does seem to be kind of cheating, especially now with more recent developments, since this species, isn't actually a thing anymore by most paleontologists' analysis. Back in 2007, it was proposed by Jack Horner that Stygimoloch, as well as Dracorex, were actually not their own species. They were, in fact, juveniles of Pachycephalosaurus wyomingensis. This was due to a few factors. For one thing, the skull domes in all three exhibit extreme plasticity, and both Dracorex and Stiggy are only known from juvenile specimens, whereas Pachycephalosaurus is only known from adult specimens. They also lived during the same time and place. This seems to indicate that perhaps they're not separate species at all, and in fact are just one, simply going through different growth stages, or perhaps gender-based dimorphism. It's hard to say exactly, but most paleontologists these days do believe that Horner was correct. Stiggy, along with Dracorex, are not their own things anymore by most accounts. They are under Pachycephalosaurus, which is upsetting, because I love Stiggy. And I've never been a big fan of the adult version. Packies are cool and all, they just weren't really in my top 5. But Stiggy was cute, and was just funny and adorable, and now it's ruined. It's ruined by science. Science comes for us all, people, and tells us the truth, and it ruins our fun? Why couldn't you just let us be stupid, Horner? All you had to do was not say anything. But no, you had to grace the world with facts. And now my top 5 favorite dinosaurs looks dumb. And it shouldn't be Stiggy. It should be Pachycephalosaurus. But juvenile Pachycephalosaurus specifically. Because once they get old, I don't think they're cute anymore. That's the only reason I like Stiggy. That and the Fallen Kingdom scene. This is why we can't have nice things, alright? I'm just saying. Herrerasaurus ishigualastensis, which is a species name that I can barely pronounce. That was rough. I always just go with Herrerasaurus, the genus name, which is fine because there's only one species underneath this genus. Herrerasaurus is a very early dinosaur, late Triassic. They were first discovered in 1958 in South America by a rancher, and all known fossils of this particular animal have been found in northwestern Argentina. The species was first described in 1963, and Herrerasaurus has gone through a lot of interpretations regarding its exact place in the fossil record because, well, frankly, it was just unclear. For a long time, it was only known from fragmentary remains, so they weren't sure whether it was a basal theropod, a sauropodomorph, or a basal saurischean. The modern interpretations place it squarely with the Saurischeans. There was even a time when they weren't even considered a dinosaur at all, but that theory's been thrown out the window. It's pretty clear that they were dinosaurs, and they were probably Saurischeans. It's just kind of hard to say. They did walk on 2 legs, and they resemble a very primitive version of theropods, if we're being honest, which is why many thought that they belonged there. Herrerasaurus lived during a time when dinosaurs were not the dominant force on the planet, and as such, they weren't actually that large by, well, dinosaur standards, but they were still pretty big, one of the larger ones, preying on small to medium animals, pretty much whatever they could get their hands on because, duh. I always like these because of their funny square heads, and you can't look at what millions of years of evolution could accomplish without looking at, well, one of the early examples, and Herrerasaurus definitely counts as that. Brachiosaurus altithorax. Yes! Yes! Big chungus! I love Brachiosaurus. They are my favorite type of sauropod, and they lived in North America during the late Jurassic period, 154 to 150 million years ago. I'm sure many will point out that they prefer Giraffatitan, and I get it, but I can't help but be more inclined to Brachiosaurus. And they were definitely among the largest sauropods that ever lived. While not the largest, they were up there. And I think one of the most distinctive traits they have is that their front legs are longer than their rear ones, giving them an incline, where a lot of sauropods don't have this particular setup. And I do find myself quite partial to the gentle giant interpretation that Jurassic Park gave us. The species was featured prominently in that movie, notable as being the first dinosaur you actually saw on screen. They immediately became one of the most well-known dinosaurs as a direct result of that, which Fallen Kingdom knew about and then crushed our souls! Turn the boat around! Turn the boat around! Don't leave her! You monsters! You didn't have to do that to us, okay? If it weren't for Stiggy, I'd be really upset right now! Utahraptor ostromyces. Oh boy. This is a species of large dromaeosaurs that were theropods, but they were notable as they would have had feathers. They lived during the early Cretaceous period in what is now the United States, most notably Utah, hence the name. They are among the largest and heaviest of all the dromaeosaurs. Their dimensions are estimated to be as much as 7 meters, 23 feet in length. and slightly less than 1,100 pounds. Comparable to the weight of a friggin' polar bear. What the heck is this thing? Some more modern analysis puts them more in line with the 18 feet long and 660 pound range, so not quite as massive, but still very large. If you're looking at them and thinking, wait, are these the Jurassic Park raptors? Well, yes and no. Michael Crichton had based the raptors in his book off of Deinonychus, but he changed the name to Velociraptor because he thought it sounded cooler. The Velociraptors are way too small to be the animals presented in the book or the film, and even Deinonychus wasn't as bulky as these animals seemed to be. But when further research was done on Utahraptor, everyone was like, oh no. Yeah, see, coincidentally, there is still historical precedent for those animals. They may have gotten the name wrong, but they were a lot closer to Utahraptor than anything else. Even though the remains were originally found in 1975, they didn't actually attract that much attention until they were further analyzed in the early 90s. The type species was actually named in 93, the same year Jurassic Park came out. As far as why I like this animal, I mean, really, is that a serious question? I mean, come on! These are the raptors from Jurassic Park, and those are really cool animals. The only major difference between them is that in real life they would have had feathers, but they're not number one. What is number one? Okay, look, I just want you to realize that I recognize that it is the obvious choice, but I'm not apologizing for it. This has been my favorite since I was a child, and it's not changing. You can't challenge royalty, people! Tyrannosaurus Rex. Yes! 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 The king! The tyrant lizard king! I don't care what anyone has to say about this decision. But Darkness, there are so many other theropods that are way bigger. First of all, they're not way bigger. A. B. Just because they were technically bigger doesn't mean they could take T-Rex in a fight. These animals were not your average theropods, and they are by far and large one of the most famous dinosaurs for a reason. For years thought to be the largest carnivorous dinosaur, they were extremely big, but more in particular, bulky. Their bite force was the strongest of any land animal ever. In the history of the entire world, nothing that ever walked on land bit as hard as this thing did. Okay. Also, unlike a lot of the larger theropods, T-Rex was, well, built different. Most of the other theropods were built to be a little bit fast, but T-Rex was built bulky, more like a tank, for fighting. Probably because a lot of their prey would have been stuff that could fight back pretty hard, like ankylosaurs and triceratops. But T-Rex hunted these, and won! But Darkness, I read this article. It's the T-Rex are really slow. They couldn't even run. Did you actually read the article? Are you sure? Alright, first of all, define run. I mean, in the technical sense, sure, they probably couldn't run, but their strides are way longer than you or I's. Their walk is much faster than our run. You realize that, right? Like, you couldn't outrun a T-Rex, okay? But Darkness, in Jurassic Park, they can't see you if you don't move. It'll be fine. No, they can see you. More to the point, they were also very, very smart. They had incredibly large brains, especially by dinosaur standards. Because it wasn't enough that they could outfight everything around them. They could also outthink everything around them. They may have known how to plan to a degree, employing an alarming level of strategy to the hunt that herbivores at the time probably could not have accounted for in any way. But Darkness, they got those dinky little arms. That's not scary. Look. The arms are right below the giant mouth that could literally crush your bones. This isn't a relevant discussion, guys, okay? I love T-Rexes, okay? I do. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. It's okay to acknowledge the king, alright? He's right here. And he can see you, even if you don't move.